Good morning, students. I hope you all are fine. So, children, today we are going to begin with the third chapter of civics, that is, why do we need a parliament? So, children, in the previous chapters, we have discussed a lot about the Indian Constitution, the Indian government, and the various features of the Indian Constitution. So, now we are going to discuss that why is this parliament system necessary for our country. So, children, as we all, as Indians, we pride on being a democracy. We feel proud to be the part of the biggest democracy of the world. So, here, children, we'll try and understand the relation between the ideas of participation in decision making and the need for all democratic governments to have the consent of their citizens. That why is it necessary for people to participate in the decision making? Why their consent is so necessary? It is these elements that together make us a democracy, and this is best expressed in the institution of parliament. So, students, here in this chapter, we'll try to see how the parliament enables the citizens of India to participate in decision making and control the government, how the people are indirectly the part of the government of the country. So, the very first topic that we are going to discuss about is why should people decide? Why people are the part of the government? So, as you all know that India got its independence on 15th August 1947 after a long and a difficult struggle in which many sections of the society participated. People from various backgrounds, they joined the struggle rather irrespective of their religion, caste, creed. The people from all these spheres joined the struggle as they were inspired, they were motivated by the idea of freedom, equality, and participation in decision making. As under the colonial rule, people had to live a life in fear of the British government and did not agree with many of the decisions that they took. After living such a fearful life, after living such a hard life, now the people, they wanted to get freedom, and that idea, that word freedom only motivated them to fight for the freedom of our country. Nationalists now begin to criticize the British government openly and make demands. If we go back to 1885, the Indian National Congress, they demanded the British government that there should be elected members in the legislature with the right to discuss the budget and to ask questions. And also, let's not forget about the Government of India Act of 1909, which allowed for some elected representation also. While children, these early legislation under the British government were in response to the growing demands. They did not allow for all the adults to vote. The Britishers, they did not give right to vote, right to representation to all the citizens. And as you read in chapter number 1, that the experience of colonial rule as well as the participation of different people in the struggle for freedom left little doubt in the minds of nationalists that all persons in independent India would be able to participate in decision making. As under the British, they did not allow freedom to all the citizens. So, due to this differences, the nationalists, they made an idea in their mind कि जब इंडिया को complete freedom मिल जाएगी, when India will be truly independent, तो we will provide freedom to all the people of the country. India would be able to participate in making decisions. Now, with the coming of the independence, we were going to be the citizens of a free country. When we will get independence, we will be the citizens, we will be the part of a democratic country. But children, let's not misunderstand this concept. This does not mean that the government could do whatever they felt like, but it meant that the government has to be sensitive to the people's needs and demands. They have to be sensitive. They need to understand what are the demands and needs of the people of their country, which were earlier being neglected under the colonial rule. The dreams and aspirations of the freedom struggle were made more concrete. Concrete means more clear in the Constitution of Independent India that laid down the principle of universal adult franchise, that is, all the adult citizens of the country has right to vote. We read in the previous chapters also, we have studied about the various bases of Indian constitution, various features of Indian constitution, and we concluded that the constitution was made with a single base, with taking a single guideline in the mind, that was equality for all. And universal adult franchise was also one such guideline. Like all the people were not given right to vote under the Britishers. तो जब इंडिया को इंडिपेंडेंस मिला, so the constitution makers, they made it clear, they made it a universal right for all the citizens of the country to right to vote. Nobody can be discriminated, nobody can be stopped from their right of giving vote. They have the right to elect their own representative and be the indirect part of the government. Next topic to be discussed that comes out as the people and their representatives. So the takeoff point for a democracy is the idea of consent. Now, how can we take the consent from such a huge number of people for a single government? So children, it is the decision of the people that creates a democratic country and decides about its functioning. अगर जो people हैं वो अपना consent नहीं देंगे तो government cannot be formed. So it is the people who make the democratic government. The basic idea in this kind of democracy is that the citizen is the most important person, and that in the principle the government as well. But the question arises, that is, how does the individual they give approval to the government? Can anybody tell me how does we give approval? How does we choose our government? Yes, the answer is through election. So one way of doing so, and the best way that we are following, is through elections. The people, they would elect their representatives to the parliament. Then one group from among these elected representatives form the government, and the parliament, which is made up of all the representatives together, whatever the representatives we have selected from various areas, from various states, they all together make up the government and control and guides the government. And in this sense, people through their chosen representatives form the government and also control it. The next question that arises in our mind, children, is what the role does a parliament plays? That means, what is the role of the parliament? So, created after 1947, parliament was created after the India's independence. The Indian parliament is an expression of the faith that the people of India have in principles of democracy. So, parliament jo hai, it is an expression, it is the way the people, they show their faith, they show their trust in the principles of democracy. These are the participation by the people in the decision making process and government by consent, because the people, the members of the parliament, are the representatives elected by the people. So that is why parliament is the way by which the people, they participate in the decision making. And the parliament in our system has immense power. Why? Because it is the representative of the people. Elections of the parliament are held in similar manner as they are for the state legislature, and the Lok Sabha is usually elected once every 5 years. And after every 5 years, you all are known about it, that after every 5 years elections take place. And for those elections, children, the country is divided into numerous constituencies. What does this mean? That the entire country is divided into small portions, and each portion is known as constituency. From each constituency, one person is elected for the parliament, and the candidates who contest elections, they usually belong to different political parties, and all the representatives from all the constituencies of the country together form of the parliament.